Hi, I'm Femi Oke. It is time for Nature with Inga Andersen, the Executive Director of United Nations Environment Programme. Yes, we're up there with important people. Inga,
Yes,
it's
I'm
so
here.
good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And I want to ask you about how our global environment is doing and why we are particularly right now taking time for nature. What does that mean to you? What should we understand by that?
We need to understand that we're putting the earth under stress. We have to understand that we can't continue taking things out of the planet, putting pollutions into it, and assume that all will be well. So now we want to take time to take care of nature, because when we take care of nature, it takes care of us.
Let's have a look at where your journey as an environmentalist started. And for that, you brought us a picture of you and your grandma. Tell us more.
So yes, I brought you that photo to show where my story started, with my grandmother teaching me about nature and telling me to take care of it. I think older traditions and oral traditions in any society have an understanding of the fragility of nature and the stewardship that we human beings have to have for nature.
There's a moment where you're at the United Nations headquarters in New York and you are standing, taking your oath. The Secretary General is there. This picture, what do you remember from that moment? What's going on in your head?
You know, I remember the little girl, the little 6-year-old girl learning from her grandmother. I remember the science that I've worked on for so many years, moving that science into policy action. I remember all the advocacy that I have worked on and the amazing people, especially Indigenous people, who have taught us a lot about caring for Earth. But I also remember the fact that we have not done the kind of policies that we should, that pollution is a threat, that climate change is real, that biodiversity is being lost. And I remember the enormity of that moment and standing there and thinking how privileged I was, and also to be taking this journey with so many good people that I get to work with who are so committed to the same things that I'm committed to. So I think that was all happening in some few minutes, but very, very powerful, if you like, them.
This World Environment Day, there is so much that we as international citizens can do and should be doing for our environment. It's such a broad area of action that's needed. How do you give a call to action that feels like it's feasible, that we can do it?
You know, on the one hand, we have to find inside ourselves that power, that steely determination to protect. But then each one of us can do something about our footprint, about our waste, about our pollution, about what we teach our children, about how we interact in the world. You know, this lockdown, what it has taught us, perhaps, well, it's terrible, it's awful. We are losing so many people, it's horrendous. But it has taught us that we can work in different ways. Science talks. And so I think what the message is now that we want to get out is that each one of us have it within ourselves, our own life choices, to make it a little bit better. And no, that is not a waste. Each one of these is a little drop, but we are nearly soon 9 billion. And if 9 billion people do that, we actually will flip that green switch. We will flip to sustainability, and we can do this. And not only can we must, because we only have one planet Earth. And we have to take good care of it because she is taking care of us.
Inga Andersen, the Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme, thanks for making time for nature.